Welcome to Uranium Mining and Milling in Virginia, an educational presentation brought to you by Southside Concerned Citizens. So, now that you know some of the history leading up to the current situation regarding uranium mining and milling in Virginia, and you can see that it has always been motivated by money, not energy needs or patriotism, let's explore exactly what Virginia Uranium Inc., also known as VUI, has done and why. As reported by Scott Harper for the Virginia Pilot on October 21st, 2007, quote, "To renew political interest in uranium, Cole's got some well-connected help, namely from his brother-in-law, Whit Clement, a former state delegate and Virginia Transportation Secretary under former Governor Mark Warner." He went on to say, according to State Senator Frank Wagner, Republican Virginia Beach, Clement asked him to include uranium mining in Wagner's 2006 energy bill. The bill at first did not mention uranium, but after hearing from Clement, whom Wagner described as an old friend and colleague, Wagner said, "I decided to put it in an amendment." When the bill passed in 2006, a section that endorsed a study of possible uranium mining in Pittsylvania County remained in the text and later became part of the Virginia Energy Plan, which Kane announced in 2007. Once again, as you can see, mining and milling at Coles Hill is about money, not oil and not patriotism. Walter Coles is the primary owner of VUI and the property that contains the uranium. Whit Clement is one of 15 paid lobbyists and Mr. Coles' brother-in-law. VUI then kicked their lobbying and public relations employees into high gear. Their lobbyists, not our elected officials, wrote Senate Bill 525 and convinced Senator Frank Wagner, the very same senator that put uranium mining in Pittsylvania County into the governor's energy plan as a favor to an old friend and colleague, to be the patron of the bill. Keep in mind that if VUI is successful in getting the uranium mining moratorium lifted in Virginia so that Coles Hill can be mined, the entire state will be open for uranium mining and milling. VUI also started buying full-page ads, attacking anyone that stood in their way of getting the General Assembly to quickly and easily pass their biased legislation. This bill called for a study of how to mine uranium in Virginia. At the same time, it directed the Department of Mines, Minerals, and Energy to produce law to regulate the mining and milling of uranium. By the time the study was completed, with the regulations in place, there would be nothing to stop the lifting of the moratorium. The permitting of VUI and other companies to mine and mill uranium throughout the Commonwealth would then proceed with little or no input from the general public. Their ads went after members of SCC in particular, accusing SCC of being hysterical for asking legitimate questions, questions that VUI admit they cannot answer, and pointing out the well-known health hazards of uranium mining and milling. They said we were ignorant because we have researched uranium mining and milling throughout the world, from past to present, and rightfully say that it has never been done safely. Just Google uranium mining to see for yourself. They said that we are idiotic because we oppose a supposed study that creates regulations and permitting a license to pollute to a predetermined level without sufficient public input, not the least of which should be to answer the basic question: does the majority of citizens in the Commonwealth want uranium mining and milling? Their ads also implied that anyone opposed to them is unpatriotic by keeping the United States from having access to the Coles Hill uranium deposit. At most, this deposit would only supply 2 years' worth of the uranium needed to power all of the nuclear reactors in America. In fact, Scott Harper of the Virginia Pilot, in an article titled "Man Sits on Radioactive Gold Mine in Virginia" on October 29, 2007, reported the following quote: "We are trading in the world market for fuel and able to secure uranium at competitive prices to help keep our costs down for our customers." This was a statement by Jim Norvell, a Dominion spokesman. Mr. Norvell went on to say, quote, "It's hard to know right now whether having a uranium mine in Virginia would be economic for us." End quote. VUI did manage to get their bill passed in the Senate, but the bill faced major opposition in the House. Why? Because, as previously pointed out, SB 525 was a flawed bill. Two delegates, Watkins Abbott Jr. and Clark Hogan, supported by their constituencies, SCC, and several other individuals and organizations, defeated VUI's bill in the House Rules Committee. All involved realized that VUI's bill asked for a study of how to mine uranium in Virginia in tandem with the development of rules and regulations, a fast track to lifting the moratorium on uranium mining. Regulations lead to permitting. Permitting leads to mining. VUI's primary interest is mining and milling uranium. That's why the corporation exists. Corporations exist to make money, period. A true study would ask the more profound question: should we mine uranium in the Commonwealth? Delegate Hogan offered VUI a compromise bill that would have authorized the study without developing regulations and a permitting process in tandem with the study. VUI turned it down. This was because Delegate Hogan's compromise bill did not fit in with VUI's business strategy as outlined in their Canadian prospectus. To learn more, please go to sccchatham.blogspot.com.